If you've been told that chronic stress is stealing your progesterone in perimenopause, then this video is for you. Because that explanation isn't quite right, but stress does have a powerful role on female hormones, especially during perimenopause. And understanding what's really happening can help change how you approach your symptoms. So today, I want to walk you through why the idea of a cortisol steal might be a little bit misleading, what chronic stress actually does to hormone signaling during perimenopause, and why this matters when you're trying to support your sleep, your mood, or cycle-related PMS issues. This isn't about blaming chronic stress, it's about understanding your physiology. Now, you may have heard that when you're under chronic stress, your body is stealing progesterone to make cortisol, leaving you somehow progesterone deficient. And that explanation sort of makes sense, but it's not quite physiologically accurate. Now, progesterone is not actually being stolen in order to make cortisol. And our hormones don't really act like a bank account where we have a limited supply of a particular hormone. Hormones are a complex system, and sometimes oversimplification can lead to more confusion. So what's actually happening under times of chronic stress is our body is reprioritizing. It's prioritizing survival over reproduction. And that makes sense. Your body is adapting and responding to the signals and the inputs it's receiving, so it deprioritizes things like reproduction and female hormones. During times of stress, the body actually shifts its hormone production and downregulates the signaling between the brain and the ovaries. And when cortisol levels are high, this actually affects the amount of GnRH that's released from the hypothalamus, leading to altered LH and FSH secretion by the pituitary gland, which ultimately affects ovulation and the luteal phase of a woman's cycle. So progesterone isn't being stolen, it's actually being downregulated and underproduced because the brain is shifting priorities. This really matters, especially in perimenopause when progesterone levels are already declining. As a reminder, in early perimenopause, progesterone falls first, while estrogen levels can still be cycling, sometimes high and sometimes erratically. So when you add high levels of chronic stress, elevated cortisol, and the resultant decrease in progesterone, this can make symptoms like insomnia, worsening PMS, irritability, and other perimenopausal related symptoms feel even worse. I often hear women in perimenopause say, "I used to be so resilient, I could handle stress, and now it's like every little thing bothers me. I'm irritable, I'm anxious, I can't sleep." That doesn't mean that you're less capable. It often means that progesterone is no longer there in the same quantity and no longer able to buffer the effects of chronic stress like it used to. And that shift can feel incredibly disorienting and discouraging if you don't understand what's happening physiologically. This is why no supplement can override the effects of chronic stress. You can support the system and improve symptoms, but if the brain still perceives that there's a chronic threat, then hormone signaling will remain suppressed. This isn't about doing chronic stress management better. It's about recognizing that hormone support, nervous system support, sleep, and recovery all need to be incorporated, especially during this perimenopausal transition. And understanding this framework helps you understand why different tools may be more helpful during different stages of the transition. In early perimenopause, those signaling-based tools, such as Vitex or chaste treeberry, may be the most effective. Later on, progesterone support may be necessary, and lifestyle strategies are all the more important throughout the transition as well. There's no single fix, and there's no one-size-fits-all. The goal is about matching the right type of support for the right phase. This is also why hormones and lab testing don't always match up with the way a woman feels, because the issue is often related to hormone signaling, not just an absolute level of a hormone itself. Context really matters here. So if stress feels like it's affecting your hormones more than it ever used to, you're not imagining things. It's physiology. Early perimenopause changes how resilient the system feels. And when high levels of chronic stress can further suppress progesterone production, this can make symptoms of perimenopause feel much worse. So in future videos, we're going to talk more about the chronic stress response and practical strategies that you can incorporate into your everyday life in order to get back to balance. My goal is to help you understand what's happening in your body so that you can feel empowered and informed and choose the right support that fits your needs without urgency or fear. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear what's affecting you the most right now. Is it problems with sleep, your mood, irritability, or something else? And if you'd like to dive deeper into this content, then stay tuned for the next video. I'm Dr. Kate, and thanks so much for being here.